Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Friday Charge. As always, we are your hosts, Joel and Sebastian. And for today, July 11th, 2025, we've got a handful of topics to discuss. We've got two new fast EVs, Trouble in Paradise, in a couple different ways. And yeah, you know what? That's a good way to describe basically everything for tonight. So, without further ado, let's plug in and get started. All right, so let's start. We're just going to right off the bat, let's start talking about this new spicy EVs. For starters, the Ioniq 6N is here. So this week, Hyundai took the wraps off of its newest N car, the Ioniq 6N. The 6N gets the same powertrain found in the 5N, including all of the fun features and tricks like the fake shifts, drift mode, track mode, etc. It also gets the same 84 kilowatt-hour battery pack found on the new Ioniq 5 and the refresh Ioniq 6, with the 10 to 80 being achieved in roughly 18 minutes. The 6N is expected to have slightly better range than the 5N, thanks to the fact that it's a sedan, not a hatchback. Its all-wheel drive system is capable of up to 641 horsepower when using in-grid boost. Otherwise, peak power is a measly 601 horsepower. Using launch control, 0 to 62 is achieved in 3.2 seconds, which is just a hair faster than the Ioniq 5N. The vehicle's top speed is 160 miles per hour. The 6N also gets beefed up thermal management, allowing it to drive hard for longer. You get in-specific suspension with electronic control, new suspension geometry, and different chassis tuning. On the exterior, there are several tweaks to signify that it's the N model. First off, it's of course available in that signature blue color that Hyundai loves. It also gets a big ol' wang in addition to the i6's duckbill spoiler.
That's a big ol' wang.
It gets some blacked out bumpers. It has an in-specific trunk lid, blacked out headlights, and the orange accents all the way around. No word on pricing, but it's probably going to be pretty close to Ioniq 5N, if maybe not a little more expensive. And yeah, dude, I think this thing looks awesome. Look at that. I love the trunk lid, but what they did there.
I'm not going to lie. I was not a big fan of how the Ioniq 6 look, but this thing is awesome. This is how an Ioniq 6 should look.
Yeah,
this is really cool looking.
I mean, I think the redesign also helped the style a lot, just in general. But yeah, I'm loving the front end being with the blacked out bumper, blacked out headlights, just kind of the two very thin slits of light at the front. And then the back, they kind of got rid of the light bar, but it gets its own Ioniq 6 deck lit. Yeah, I just think it looks good. And a big wing really fits the vehicle. And then on the inside, it looks like a Ioniq N. It looks like the 5N, except it's got the center tunnel thing that the 6 is known for. And so, yeah, super pumped that this is finally here. Allegedly, this thing can drift like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we haven't seen a lot of the new Ioniqs hit the lots here in Arkansas. Hopefully that changes here soon, because I really want to drive one of these. I really want to drive the new Ioniq 5s. I really want to drive the new Ioniq 9. So hopefully they start hitting our lots here soon in Arkansas. As you know, we're in the middle of the country, so we get everything last. But yeah, excited to drive this one. We drove the Ioniq 5 in. It was pretty spicy too.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
Does it come with the same fake noises that the Ioniq 5N does?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on to our second fast EV. Rivian this week finally pulled off the wraps on their new second generation quad motor R1. The new quads have 1,025 horsepower, nearly 1,200 pound-feet of torque, a 0 to 60 of 2.5 seconds in the R1T, 2.6, a lot slower in the R1S. The new quads have an EPA range of up to 374 miles and are the first Rivian vehicles to come with a native NACS port. The quads also get a few trim-specific features, starting with what Rivian dubs as a kick turn. For those who've been following along,
there it is.
You might remember that Rivian teased the Gen 1 quads doing a tank turn, but ultimately that feature never made it to production. Until now. So Rivian's kick turn feature will allow you to do a 0-degree turn, and the feature is activated by pressing both steering wheel buttons in the direction you want to go. Rivian advises that you should only use this feature on gravel or loose dirt. They've also stated that this feature will not be coming to first gen quad vehicles, which is a bit of a bummer because I mean they 100% were using the tank turn as a advertising feature initially for the Gen 1 vehicles, but I digress. The new quads are also getting what is being called Rad Tuner, which allows drivers to create their own custom drive modes. Um, and from what I've seen, it is very customizable, and the car won't stop you from making a drive mode that makes the car just drive terrible.
Oh, okay.
So you are legitimately, it will let you do whatever you want for better or worse.
Yep.
Rivian is also offering 4 new wheel designs for the R1T Quad. First off, there's a 22-inch Super Sport option that has staggered wheels and super sticky tires. A 22-inch Sport variant, which is very similar to what is available on the other motor configs, but it's now burnished in bronze. The 20-inch graphite variant of the California Dune wheels makes an appearance again. And you can get the standard issue 20-inch all-terrain wheel, but in black. Rivian is launching the quad now with launch edition variants and launch edition pricing.
Mm-hmm.
The launch editions are available in 2 colors. You can either get launch green with a black interior or storm blue with slate sky interior. Launch edition also includes Lifetime Connect Plus subscription, Lifetime Autonomy Plus platform, the camp speaker, the key fob for some reason, as well as NACS adapters for J1772 charging, as well as CCS charging. There is one thing we haven't addressed yet, and that would be the price. So the R1T Quad starts at $115,000, and the launch edition starts at $120,000. And R1S starts at $121,000, and the launch edition is $126,000.
And what can you pick up a really nice used quad pack for right now? 60?
Yeah, so yeah, you can get a pretty decent Gen 1 quad for like 60 grand.
Yeah, we have a
And
buddy
it's
selling
only
one.
a second, and it's only like a second slower quarter mile. Doesn't do a kick turn, I guess. Doesn't have the rad tuner, I guess.
2 things
And
I
I mean,
probably don't need. Yep.
here's my truly controversial take. I don't think there's enough here to justify the price difference between the tri motor and the quad motor. You know, we're
Yeah.
talking a $20,000 price increase.
Yeah.
For half a second faster 0 to 60, a tank turn feature that is a party trick, honestly, and some special wheels. Also, second controversial take, the launch green color that they've brought back for launch edition looks terrible with the blue accents that they put all over the exterior. The colors don't go well together at all.
Yeah, and I'm kind of pissed I got rid of the limestone color because that was probably my favorite color of the Rivian was the limestone.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten there yet. That just in general for 2026 R1, they've gotten rid of all color. You can now have gray and black, and you're gonna like it.
Yep.
And white. Sorry, you can also do white. Because yeah, they got rid of Red Canyon. They got rid of limestone. They've previously gotten rid of Compass Yellow, RIP. And just yeah, I don't know. This is one that was like, I mean, if you're going to do a flagship, you're going to have a flagship. You know, ultimately, I guess this gets people to maybe spend $120,000 on a vehicle. Rivian gets more money. Whoop-de-doo. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, there needed to be something else that makes this truly special, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow maybe to get more range out of it or something, better charging speed. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm like you. I could spend half that or almost half that and get a used one with 15,000 miles on it today. Literally, we drove one. We have a review coming out either the next week or the week after on it's a 2022, correct?
Yep.
The 2022 quad R1T, and it drove like a beast. I mean, it was great. I just can't see spending 6 digits on a truck like that when I could buy a Silverado and get more truck or a Sierra and get more truck and more range and just more stuff. I mean, it doesn't sit there well in the truck.
Yeah, I was trying to just pull this up. Like that color contract combo is awful.
They should have made it black.
It should have been black, or they should have just kept the yellow.
Yep.
And now it looks fine on the other color because it's shocker, blue matches blue.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like it looks good, it's whatever. But my biggest, I mean, even when you look at their own website, and this is kind of where I'm at on this too, is honestly, I think the Tri is cool. If you need the fast one, definitely buy the Tri.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can do this without blowing it up. Hey, it's working. Aha. But like, so you've got the standard 270
Mm-hmm.
miles of range, not that much, 4.5 seconds 0 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
Still fast.
Oh
That
yeah.
one starts at 70 grand. You can bump up to the dual into performance upgrade, gets you 3.4 seconds. And if I remember right, the performance upgrade's what, 5 grand? Yeah,
Well,
5 grand. So that puts you at 82,
uh-huh.
3.5 seconds 0 to 60. Adds all the sport mode, soft sand, rally. And then you got Tri, which is 100 grand, which is expensive.
Yep.
So that's like a $20,000 difference even there, and you're only getting half a second there too. So honestly, dual is where it's at.
The dual is the best.
Just buy the dual motor.
Buy the dual. And what's
Buy
the
the
difference
dual
in
motor.
range between the dual and the standard?
The dual large is at 329 miles, and the standard is 270.
Yeah, I would go for a dual. Yep.
I think I would if I was doing it, I might go dual standard.
Yeah, I mean, if for me in my house, it would be our second car. So, yeah, and you could probably find those right now in the 40s and 50s, and what I'm assuming, probably right.
They haven't really started hitting used yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
And here's the thing though, is like the 329 number would be nice, honestly, but at the same time, the standard one's an LFP pack.
So you charge to 100.
Charge to 100 every time. And from if I remember right, the charge curve isn't terrible. It's pretty flat. It's pretty consistent.
Now, do they still have the issues with the thermals if you're charging a lot?
I know they do on, it seems like the max packs, but I'm not sure on the LFP packs.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, the Rivian,
and we're not towing anything, so we would not need
exactly
the tow packages. I mean, we're not boaters or campers or things like that, so yeah, we don't need all
But yeah, it's like I'm happy that the quad's here. It's a cool, like, as far as just like a technical demonstration, it's really cool. You know, it's using in-house motors and all that. It's, you know, it's a cool vehicle. I struggle to see its place in the R1 lineup, especially now. You know, if it was like the first time around where they just had dual motor or quad motor, it's like, oh, okay, that's like a significant difference between the two.
Yeah.
But now there's that tri motor in the middle that they went ahead and launched. And now I'm just kind of
the tri motor could have been their top of the line and it would have been fine.
Exactly. All right, moving on. The new Leaf is already in trouble. We're going to move on to the bad news part of the day. I'm sorry, y'all.
All the rest is bad news. Sorry.
So Nissan recently announced their new Leaf, which was supposed to help the company turn over a new Leaf. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't resist. But it seems like that might already be in jeopardy. So last week, Nissan allegedly began talks with workers at the UK plant where the Leaf will be built over, quote, voluntary retirement. According to a new report from Japanese news outlet Kyoto News, it would appear that Nissan has already begun cutting production plans for the new Leaf, citing shortage of minerals from China due to new export restrictions. In a different report, an internal memo was leaked that Nissan plans to delay 2 EV models that it was supposed to be building at its Canton, Mississippi plant due to, quote, slowing EV demand in the U.S. This would push production of the new Nissan model back to late 2028 and their Infinity model back to 2029. Nissan has also recently halted production of 3 of their gas models in the U.S., the Pathfinder, the Murano, and the Frontier, due to low demand.
Yeah.
How long, man? How long do you think Nissan continues to kick it?
Let's see. Let me look into my crystal ball. I say I'll give them till 2030, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's just so
they're gonna have to merge. One of these other Japanese companies is gonna have to merge with them. I know they booted Honda off to the side because Honda wanted too much, but it doesn't. I mean, heck, I think Mazda's in better shape than they are right now. So I mean, and that's a lot. That's saying a lot. But yeah, they need to figure out what's going on. I mean, Yeah, I feel bad for him. I was excited about the Leaf coming back. I'm excited that it had a new look to it. It had, CCS, I believe. It had, they figured out the issue with the thermal cooling and everything with the batteries. They were stepping up again, and now we're back to challenges because of tariffs, rare minerals, EV demand. I mean, we really don't know what's going to happen with EV demand. I mean, that's still the big picture. A lot of people say it's going to go down. Some people, like our friend who owns a dealership, thinks it's going to go up, especially in the used market, because prices will come down. But it's the big unknown. What's going to happen? We just don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't help but almost feel like, because like the Leaf is going to happen, right? The new Leaf will happen. I almost can't help but feel like it's going to be the last. It'll be the last new EV we see from Nissan.
Yep.
Unless it is like an actual like gigantic hit, is enough to kind of right the ship, give them cash flow. Like I don't know. I feel like we've been seeing too many stories like this recently from Nissan. And at some point the money's gonna run out, right?
Yep.
I'm like, surely it's not an infinite pool that they're sitting on. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Now they did make a big, huge push. They kind of just redesigned all their cars. I mean, for the most part, the Murano looks different. I know the Kicks looks different. I haven't seen any new Frontiers, or I know the Pathfinder looks a little different in the front. So they are starting to update their cars. Hopefully that
that's
helps.
The thing, though, isn't it?
Yep.
The Murano's all new, and they're already having to cut production on it due to low demand.
I mean, basically the only thing saving them right now is the Rogue. Probably that's the only thing saving them right now is the Nissan Rogue, and we'll see how long they can kick that can for.
Yeah, is the Rogue, and I guess selling Sentras and Ultimas to rental fleets.
Yep, that's true. Because if you're renting a car, it says Nissan something or similar.
It's almost always a Sentra or an Ultima or a Rogue.
Yep,
almost always.
And if you get the real cheap one, you get the Versa. So yeah.
No, if you're like me, you're unlucky, and they put you in a Mitsubishi Mirage for 2 weeks. Anyway, moving on. So that was a real story that happened to me. Anyway,
don't be dogging Mitsubishi. It's all right.
Honestly, Mirage was better than I expected.
There you go. See,
for it to be some tiny little car with like 79 horsepower.
Yep.
And it was terrifying to drive on the interstate.
It's like driving a golf cart.
It was better than I expected.
There you go.
I couldn't believe that people buy anyway, not the subject of today. Tesla was forced to refund FSD. This is super interesting to me. So Tesla was forced to refund a customer's FSD after it was deemed the company did not deliver on the tech. So a Tesla owner in Washington State was able to get the automaker to refund his FSD purchase, but it wasn't a straightforward process. So just for background, the owner paid around $10,000 for FSD on their vehicle, which happened to be their third Tesla, and immediately was put off as he was unable to use the system due to Tesla requiring a minimum safety score, which was not mentioned in the contract when purchasing FSD. Furthermore, the system required full supervision, which is not the premise that Tesla was advertising FSD at when it was sold to him. If you read into the story the vehicle was bought for his wife, who was starting to have some limited mobility issues. And so he bought FSD in the hopes that it would kind of help her keep some independence, right? To be able to kind of help her drive around or whatnot, which is great. But when the system launched, it wasn't there. That wasn't where it was at. Anyway, so a Tesla requires owners to go through arbitration for any legal disputes or refunds as part of their sales contract to sell you the vehicle. However, this Tesla owner was able to get through the process. He also just happens to be a lawyer.
Represented himself.
Once the hearing was finally held, Tesla brought in a, quote, field technical specialist.
Yeah, I feel bad for this guy.
Who admitted in the hearing that he knew nothing about the hardware shipped on the car, hadn't reviewed any vehicle logs, had no details on the FSD system installed on the vehicle. He also admitted that he hadn't reviewed any sales contracts for the vehicle. Ultimately, Tesla brought in a service technician to the hearing who was unable to answer any questions. Tesla's in-house lawyer allegedly sat silent during the entire hearing, but their outside counsel did try to soften the fact that they didn't know what was happening just a little bit.
Mhm.
Ultimately, because of this, the arbitrator sided with the Tesla owner, forcing Tesla to refund them the $10,000 for FSD, as well as the $8,000 in arbitration fees that had been paid to get to this point. I can't help but wonder, how much did Tesla spend on lawyers and whatnot to fight this case, just to then completely screw it up by sending the witness that didn't know anything about the case?
Yeah, you think the smart thing would have been to say, "Hey, we'll give you your $10,000, sign this NDA, and we're good to go."
Exactly.
And then would have been here about it. Nothing would have been said about it. But this guy, and he did talk about it. I read what he talked about. He did this on his own. He represented himself. He didn't have to pay for counsel or anything like that. But yeah, it feels like they just like went to the local like Tesla's repair center and said, "Hey, we need one of your technicians for like 2 hours. We need to borrow them. Hey, come here. We need you to answer some questions for us." Drag him down to the courtroom and said, "All right, here you go." And this guy was like, "Huh? What? What's going on? I don't know anything going on."
Right.
So my question for you, Sebastian, do you think this opens the door to more of this arbitration? I mean, it's a pain in the butt to go through arbitration, and you're gonna have to pay a lawyer to do it. Is it worth to go through it for $10,000?
I don't know. It's an interesting situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just am hung up on, why would Tesla, if they knew that they ultimately weren't going to put any effort into the case,
Mm-hmm.
why would they go through the hassle of paying lawyers to show up, paying for paying to get to the point that they had the
Yep.
hearing? It's like, lawyers are expensive.
I mean, think about
I
it.
have a feeling
$50,000
Tesla's-
maybe in lawyer fees.
yes,
They could've just
Tesla
paid
spent
10.
more than 18 grand on this
Yep.
before they then lost 18 grand.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, were they trying to make an example? Were they I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's just so interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see if anyone else tries this. Especially if anyone tries this who isn't like a public figure
Yeah.
or, social media influencer or something like that. I think I've seen I think Jerry Rig Everything has officially submitted to have FSD refunded on like 3 of his vehicles, which is great. I'll be interested to see how it goes out. But I also think it's safe to assume that someone who, I think it's safe to assume that Jerry Rig Everything won't have the same experience that you would have, right?
Yeah. And I think I think the issue that caught Tesla on this was the actual fact that they made that FSD score a stipulation for opening up FSD. I think that was the key to where he kind of won the arbitration, because he said, "Hey, listen, if I pay for it, I should get it automatically. It doesn't matter what my FSD score is, whether it be a 90 or a 20, I paid for it, I should get it." And we're like, "Well, you can have an
Right.
FSD score of so-and-so." And I went through that with my car. I had to drive it around till my FSD score was something, and then it opened it up for me. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, just this is super interesting to me. I think this is the first time we've seen this, isn't it?
With Tesla like this, yes. So, like I said, is this a flood or is this a trickle? We shall see. So,
yeah. All right. And our last story of the day, Honda is scaling back EV plans. So, according to a new report, Honda is scrapping its plans for a new, larger EV SUV in the U.S. market, citing expected lower demand due to the current U.S. political climate. Honda still plans to launch their Zero SUV and sedan in the U.S. next year, but this larger EV SUV, which was expected to be a 3-row and was expected to launch in 2027 to compete with, existing 3-row EVs such as the EV9 and the R1T and not R1T, R1S and the Vistic and XC90,
Ioniq 9
or EX90 and the Ioniq 9. Is
that it?
Is that all of them?
I think so.
ID Buzz, I guess, technically is a 3-row
Yep.
SUV, although it's not an SUV,
Yep.
it's a van. Lucid Gravity. Sorry, now I'm just trying to.
There's more now than when we first started doing the podcast. So
Model X.
I don't count Model X.
Anyway, but they're not doing that now. And there's other automakers that are expected to launch a 3-row SUV around that time. I think Toyota plans to. I think Ford plans to. It's just interesting. I don't know. Yeah, so you can see they were pinning for 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now you're
it'll be
talking.
interesting to see, in all of this, as we talk about stuff, we see, automakers continue to plow forward ahead with the EV stuff. We see automakers pull back plans. We see automakers, plow forward ahead with building battery plants or whatever. It'll be interesting to see in the end who was right,
Yep.
who made the right decision.
Because
Because I don't see demand lowering as much as I think people think it is going to.
no, and
I
if you
think at this
stop and
point,
if you stop now, you can't say it's going to take you years to start back up again. So if you say, okay, put everything
yeah,
on hold, no plants, no batteries, and then in 2 or 3 years the geopolitical climate changes, or there's a breakthrough in battery technology and EVs start taking more market share again, they're like, oh crap, now we gotta ram back up again. So I agree with you. I think I think we're still going to see EV growth. I don't think it's going to be as much, but I still think EVs are going to grow. I still think the
yeah,
market share is going to grow. It may not grow 5% every year, it may grow 2.5% every year, but I still think it's going to grow. But as we said on this podcast before, it's not about competing in America, it's about competing overseas too as well. And
yeah. But I mean, even looking at America, just if you stick in the American bubble, I'm sure you've noticed this. I've sure as heck have noticed this. I see EVs way more
oh yeah.
in the last 6 months in Arkansas than I have ever seen before.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Just driving to school in the morning. I mean, just going down the highway where my kids go to school at, I'll see 10, 12, 15 Teslas alone just on that 3 or 4 mile stretch of road. Where before I was the only Tesla on the road and everyone was looking at me because like, hey, look, it's a Tesla. That was 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, I was the only Tesla in that area for the most part, and people were like looking at me. Now it's common. It's just they're everywhere now. So
Yeah, and I mean, and you live in Little Rock or around Little Rock,
yep,
so like you're in a more populated area.
yep.
It's a little expected. I don't. And I mean, I was leaving the house Monday. We were in downtown Malvern, population 10,000, and pulls up next to me a Sierra EV on paper tags. They just bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're in a town where you don't, I mean, for the longest time, I'm pretty confident I was the only person.
Yep.
I was the only person crazy enough to drive an EV, and now I see them like all the time. I see them in Hot Springs all the time. I see like they're, if they're getting to the point where you see they're kind of more common traffic here in Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to indicate to me that they must be growing even more rapidly
Yeah.
in other places.
Yeah. Just on my street
Um,
alone, my subdivision, we have my two. I know for a fact, just on my street, 5 EVs. So 3 Teslas, no more than that, 3 Teslas, a Kia EV6, a Mach-E, and there's something else. But yeah, just on my street alone, there's at least 6. And I don't have a big street, so just on my street alone, 6 EVs. So
yeah, so this is not a big number, okay?
no.
I just want to make sure. But here is the registrations from DFA
Mm-hmm.
off for electric vehicles. Are you ready?
Yep.
In 2019, there were 781 fully electric vehicles registered in Arkansas. Like registered that year.
Yep.
In 2020, that number was 1,300.
So it almost doubled.
In 2021, it was 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
In 2022, it was 3,000. 2023, it was 4,000. 2024, it was almost 7,000. And in 2025, up to April of this year, we're already at 8,000.
So we're more than doubling almost now.
Right. Like if that is the momentum here,
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what that translates to in other places.
In Colorado, California, Texas, Florida, New York, the bigger states that have the infrastructure and all that. I mean, yep.
And even people, even if you look at like Arkansas numbers for, you're not fully ready to go electric, right? But you want a more fuel efficient vehicle. In 2019, Arkansas registered 13,861 hybrids. So far in 2025, it's 48,797.
Yep.
Like, that's not an insubstantial number.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Let's just do that math real quick. 48,797 times a mandatory $100 hybrid registration fee.
Yep.
Oh, that's a cool, 4.8, almost 4.9 million. And then if we do the 8,800 EVs, just from this year alone, times the $200 fee, that's 1.8 million as well.
So yeah, so over 5 million just in registration fees from hybrids and
just in
electric cars
registration
this year.
fees.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's just from new vehicles registered this year,
Yep.
or new in that class.
Yeah.
It includes used
Yeah,
vehicles,
but new
you know
registrations, yes. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, just interesting stuff.
Get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be a fun 6 months.
Golly, or longer.
Yep.
We're gonna need a lot of popcorn.
Yep.
All right, Joel. You finally got your car back.
I
Did we talk about it last week?
Did we? No, I didn't have it back last week. I just got it back I got it back Monday of this week.
Okay.
So yeah. So I got my car back. Yay for me. Came back from the body shop. Huge shout out to the people at Mazzell. I think it's Mazzell. Paint and Body in Little Rock. They had it for about a week. They fixed the dent in the back trunk that I backed into my son's car with. Yay me. But yeah, it's all fixed up. I mean, it looks great. They probably should have charged me more than what they did, but I'm not complaining about it. It was all cosmetic, so they didn't have to replace any parts or anything. Just a bunch of Bondo and paint. But yeah, that's back up running. It's AC on. Oh, excuse me. I do notice that with the new AC, I don't know if it's just me. The AC seems a little louder. I don't know why I don't know why that is. Just the compressor just sounds a little louder.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, it works
could
fine.
Just be a different part revision. It could be
a part revision. It could be, I don't know if they had to like remove something and like installation. I'm probably totally wrong. Couldn't put it back in. It just sounds a little bit louder, but everything works great. The car was extremely dusty, of course, from being worked on. So I've been cleaning dust out of that car for the last 4 days. But yeah, everything's great. Got it back. Happy with the job, happy with the repair work, and hopefully no more shop trips for me for that car with 94,000 miles on it. But yeah.
Oh, I rolled up in the driveway this morning in my 2019. So sorry. My 2019 Chevy Bolt. And when I pulled into my driveway when I got home, 89,999.
You're catching up to me, Sebastian. You're catching up.
Rapidly, I might say.
You'll probably pass me.
So yeah,
because I don't have the long.
I think it's supposed to blow up soon, right?
It should. I think 100,000 miles.
100,000
miles, they blow up. So
okay,
I'll just make sure there's another family member driving when that happens, and it's not me. So, or I'll let you drive. And say, hey, Sebastian, why don't you take the car for a drive? It's got 99,999 miles on. They're supposed to blow up at 100,000.
Hey man,
so no, they're not supposed to blow up at 100,000 miles. The battery stops working. That's what happens.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what
100,000 miles.
I mean, I have to spend like 60 grand on a new battery.
60 grand on a new battery.
Yeah.
And it only goes.
I'll start saving now.
You have to charge every 10 miles too. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll start saving now.
Yep. Save.
Good call.
But yep. No other. Do we have any other news this week, or I think that's it?
I think that's it.
All right, let's wrap it up.
That is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you all for plugging into the Friday Charge. Be sure to subscribe to the EV Geek podcast on YouTube and tap the notification icon to be notified about new releases. Next week, we will release a review of a used Tesla Model S, continuing our used EV series. If you guys have any thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. So long, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of the Friday Charge.